Many in legacy media love mass shootings. You guys love it.
2018년 NRA에 맞서기 시작한 민주당은 중간선거에서 큰 승리를 거둡니다. 뉴욕주에는 새로운 법무장관 르티샤 제임스가 임명됐고 그녀는 NRA와 총기 제조업자들에 대한 수사에 착수할 것을 선언합니다. 뉴욕주는 NRA가 지난 20년 동안 뉴욕주에 제대로 된 허가도 받지 않은 채 자기 방어 목적의 총기 사용으로 인한 법률 비용을 부담해주는 캐리 가드라는 보험을 팔고 있는 것을 발견합니다.
You're gonna get sued. You know, you're gonna go to jail, and you may lose your right to carry or bear arms.
NRA는 뉴욕주의 추가 조사에 대비해 내부 회계 감사를 실시했고 막대한 지출을 추적하던 중 수십 년간 함께해왔던 홍보 대행 회사 에커맨 맥퀸이 NRA 회장 올리버 노스의 비공개 급여를 포함 NRA TV 프로젝트에 약 440억 원을 부과한 것이 발견됩니다. 내부 분열이 시작된 NRA와 에커맨 맥퀸은 의견 차이를 좁히지 못했고 에커맨 맥퀸은 웨인 라피에르와 NRA 고위 간부들이 NRA의 기부금을 개인적 목적으로 사용하고 있음을 대중에 공개합니다.
Back in 2017, the National Rifle Association was at the peak of political influence. It had just spent a record sum to help elect the now president, launched its own online TV channel, and it had even rolled out insurance policies to cover those who might actually shoot another human being. But now the group is facing the harsh reality that its days might be numbered.
언론은 웨인 라피에르의 사치스러운 개인 지출에 관한 내용을 연이어 보도했고 이는 NRA에 대한 수사에 큰 도움이 되는 시작점이었습니다. NRA의 지도부는 위기를 맞게 됐고 회장 올리버 노스는 이사회를 소집해 NRA CEO 겸 부사장 웨인 라피에르를 사임시키려 했습니다. 그러나 웨인 라피에르는 올리버 노스가 쿠데타를 일으키려 한다며 반격했고 NRA 입법과 로비를 맡고 있던 크리스 칵스를 비롯 에커맨 맥킨 지지자들과 회장 올리버 노스는 NRA 이사회에서 퇴출되고 맙니다.
For the most part, as strong as you make your background checks, they would not have stopped any of it. So it's a big problem. It's a mental problem. It's a big problem.
We're averaging about 300 mass shootings a year. No other country comes close. So yes, this is up.
2019년 NRA는 다시 한번 트럼프 대통령을 지지합니다.
I'd like to express gratitude. No other president in our lifetime has stood with us so strongly in defense of our Second Amendment rights. Thank you, Mr. President.
And I'm a champion for the Second Amendment, and so are you. It's not going anywhere. It's under assault. I promise to defend the Second Amendment rights, and I always will. I'll never let you down. As long as I'm your president, not even close.
This morning, the National Rifle Association is under fire.
Just a few minutes ago, my office filed a lawsuit against the National Rifle Association to dissolve the organization in its entirety for years of self-dealing and illegal conduct that violate New York's charities law and undermine its own mission.
뉴욕 법무장관 르티샤 제임스는 NRA 고위 간부들이 3년간 기부금 약 700억 원을 개인 통장으로 사용했다고 발표했습니다. 웨인 라피에르는 바하마 여행에 5억 원, 자동차 서비스에 30억 원을 사용했고 이사회의 동의 없이 비밀리에 200억 원의 퇴직연금을 받기로 돼 있는 것이 밝혀집니다.
A lot of people around NRA looking to be rich. Can't imagine any other nonprofit in the entire country that has a similar mission where people are making so much money. The hypocrisy of it all is that the membership who gives $25 they don't know where their money's going.
웨인 라피에르는 잘못을 부인했고 NRA는 법무장관의 소송을 위헌이며 싸움에서 절대 지지 않고 맞서 승리할 것이라 선언했습니다. 또한 NRA에 대한 계획적인 공격은 민주당이 2020년 선거에서 권력을 장악하기 위해 벌이는 정치적 술수라 주장하며 사건을 기각하라는 소송을 걸었습니다.
I just heard about that. That's a very terrible thing that just happened. I think the NRA should move to Texas and lead a very good and beautiful life.
How is this not political?
I don't think politics has anything to do with it. The NRA, its board, its officers, its directors have an obligation and a duty to its donors. And unfortunately, they failed in that responsibility. And as a result of that, the NRA is operating in a deficit.
비슷한 시기 워싱턴 DC 법무장관 칼 레신 역시 NRA가 기부금을 부정한 목적으로 사용하고 있다고 소송합니다.
If I'm elected and I'm coming for you and gun manufacturers, I'm going to take you on and I'm going to beat you. I'm the only one who's done it.
We need to expand background checks, end the gun show loophole, and do what the American people want, not what the NRA
But the threat that is staring us in the face right now with this election is greater than any threat we've faced in our lives.
I promise you, we're never going to stop fighting for your right and folks just like you all over America to have the right to defend themselves. And the media and the political elites can lie and demonize us all they want, but that's not going to stop us. Because we are standing today in this stadium for who we really are. We are Americans. We are patriots. We love our country. We are going to defend our freedom, and we will always stand and fight for America. God.
치열한 접전 끝에 민주당 대통령 후보 조 바이든은 2020년 11월 3일 대통령 선거에서 승리합니다.
Surprise move by the NRA. The powerful gun rights group filed for bankruptcy Friday, months after a lawsuit from New York's Attorney General over alleged tax fraud and questionable spending by top executives. The organization will reincorporate as a nonprofit and move to Texas.
Gun violence in this country is an epidemic. Let me say it again. Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment.
2021년 4월 바이든 대통령은 총기 규제에 대한 행정명령을 내립니다.
First, want to rein in the proliferation of so-called ghost guns. These are guns that are homemade, built from a kit, that include directions on how to finish the firearm. You can go buy the kit. They have no serial numbers, so when they show up at a crime scene, they can't be traced. And the buyers aren't required to pass a background check to buy the kit.
Take a look. Take a look at this. It comes in this package. This is the gun. It's not hard to put together. A little drill, hand drill at home. Doesn't take very long. Anyone can order it in the mail. A felon, a terrorist, a domestic abuser can go from a gun kit to a gun in as little as 30 minutes.
바이든 대통령이 발표한 총기 규제 대책은 그간 총기로 분류되지 않아 신원조회 없이도 온라인으로 쉽게 구입해 조립할 수 있는 고스트건에 대한 것입니다. 고스트건은 실제 총기 범죄에 자주 이용되고 있지만 추적 가능성이 1%도 되지 않습니다. 바이든 대통령은 이러한 고스트건의 제조 시 일련 번호를 새겨놓아 총기를 추적할 수 있게 만들고 구매 시 신원조회를 철저히 할 수 있게 해야 한다고 말했습니다. 또한 ATF에 이름했음에도 불구하고 20년 넘게 이뤄지지 않았던 총기 밀수에 대한 연구를 다시 시작해 데이터를 구축하고 가족 중 자살이나 남을 해할 위험이 있다고 판단되면 법원에 일시적으로 총기 구입 금지를 신청할 수 있도록 하는 법안을 추진합니다.
When a gun's not available, an attempt at suicide, the death rate drops precipitously. States that have red flag laws have seen the reduction in the number of suicides in their states.
또한 숨기기는 쉬우나 파괴력이 엄청난 단축형 소총에 연방 세금을 물리기로 합니다.
We recognize that cities across the country are experiencing historic spikes in homicides, as the law enforcement can tell you. The violence is hitting black and brown communities the hardest. Homicide is the leading cause of death of black boys and men ages 15 to 34.
He's just in the police station right here. You know what I'm saying? So that shit don't mean nothing. Ain't no guidance out here. That's the problem. That's why I ain't like back in the day. Ain't no guidance out here. So it's like every man for themselves. See, back in the day, everybody need that gun. Now, it's every man for himself. You better get your motherfucking gun, or you get your ass shot. And that shot might be killed. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, growing up with us, it was more about hustling and trying to get money. The younger generation now, not so focused on money. They're more focused on violence, killing, and, you know what I'm saying, all the internet, social media, wars, violence, and all that, you know, and it then just spills out into the streets, you know, and all day long they ride around trying to find somebody to shoot.
Tell them they can't live this life like Black Ops. It's not a video game. You don't get an extra life. Once you're dead, you're dead. Once you kill someone, they don't come back to life. And when you go out on that retaliation, you only get that sense of fulfillment for a small amount of time. When you come back or when you wake up the next day, your friend, your brother, he's still dead.
Gun violence in America, for those of you who think of this from an economic standpoint listening to me, estimated to cost the nation $280 billion, let me say it again, $280 billion a year.
What Joe Biden did is he sat there and shamelessly looked right into the camera and he pointed his finger at you and me. And he blamed us and our Second Amendment freedom. Joe Biden and his anti-gun allies care more about protecting criminals than protecting those law-abiding Americans. No matter how hard Biden tries to blame us for the violent crime that he enables, I'm happy to report that Americans all over this country aren't buying into his agenda. You know what they're doing instead? They're out there in record number buying guns.
Governor Greg Abbott at the Alamo today, where he signed 7 gun bills into law, making Texas what he calls a Second Amendment sanctuary state.
Government is coming to take your guns. Texas will not let that happen.
2007년 자기 방어법의 통과를 시작으로 총기 규제법을 완화하기 시작한 텍사스주는 2021년 6월 21세 이상의 주민들은 면허, 필기시험, 사격훈련, 신원 확인의 조사 없이 총을 구입할 수 있고 공공장소에서도 권총을 소지하고 다닐 수 있는 법을 통과시켰습니다.
Does this make your job harder? I think it does. Supporters would say more good guys with guns makes your job even easier.
Well, my answer to that is, how do I know you're a good guy? Well, you might go to a scene and now you have 3, 4, 5 people that are openly carrying a firearm.
One day, the tragedy will come to your community because we fail to be responsible to the members of our communities across this state. I pray that it doesn't, but it is.